We've come down here 6 years ago, primarily not just for the wonderful living in Florida, but the greatest fishing in the world, right in our own backyard, the Palm Beaches.
Yeah, I don't think you have to go anyplace else for it.
No, sir, you don't.
Hello everyone, welcome to the historic West Palm Beach Fishing Club. Today we have gathered a bunch of illustrious captains, mullet gutters, and friends to help the club further its effort to document the offshore sport fishing history here in the Palm Beaches. You know, there have been a lot of really innovative things that have happened here off the shores of Palm Beach County. Boat designs, tackle innovations, fishing techniques, not to mention some truly exceptional catches. So we thought it would be appropriate to highlight some of the captains and colorful characters that were a part of these events. If you like fishing and history, be prepared to be entertained.
We're happy to present the president of the West Palm Beach Fishing Club now. Ken, are your duties rather arduous in that capacity, or is it a pretty soft touch?
It's a pretty soft touch, Ward. We have Francis Doucette and all of the other fine people down here who do a magnificent job, and we really had a terrific program, and it's been well recognized and well done all over the county.
The family boatyard was, whether it was by design or just divine grace, became the mecca for sport fishing. It was the center of the universe for sport fishing. And so if you wanted to learn, if you wanted to get your name out there, that's where you went. Captains and the mates were the test pilots, and we were the boat builders, and they would come back and tell us what they learned, and we would try to apply that. And the whole thing worked really well together, and I don't know if there's another place like that on earth right now. It was a very, very special place, and I have my family to thank for that.
If you got on a Rybovich boat, you're like the elite captain. It was a status symbol.
Who were some of these early test pilots?
They were colorful characters, all of them. We had Sammy Collins, who brought so much to the table, especially in the early days of going down to Mexico. We had the infamous Joe Moore on the Little Pete down there. We had someone that will never be forgotten in the annals of sport fishing, and that is Sonny Barr, and all of the wild tales about him.
It's a real pleasure to renew acquaintance with you again, Bobby, because I'm very much in your debt. I think when we first came down here, my sons were not very hep to Florida fishing, and you were a little bit of a guy about like this at that time, and you were most helpful in instructing them and telling them how to go for snook and different types of fish that we didn't know in the north.
Bobby Haynes and the whole Haynes family, they were very, very close to us. Bobby ran a Levango out of the South Dock for many, many years. Bobby ran a charter out of there, really. Bobby and his brother Dickie, their whole family were West Palm Beach natives, heavily involved in sport fishing and the development of it around here.
Bobby Haynes was probably one of the nicest human beings in the world. I mean, a cuss word to Bobby Haynes was heck. You know, I never heard that guy say anything else other than heck, or shoot, or aw shucks.
Well, you know, fishing-wise, I mean, I always have to go to Bobby Haynes. It was probably, you know, before he died, it was just like he was the guy. I went fishing with him a couple of times out of Rybovich.
Hour after hour of waiting and watching baits. As we troll, we relax, enjoying the vast waters, always alert.
My mentors were Rybovich captains C.C. Anderson, who ran Sambo for George and Phyllis Bass Weeds and Shoes. They tied up at Rybovich's. Jack Lance, we ran the Susie, Rybovich.
Well, Jack, we're used to seeing you in that familiar fishing cap and that familiar old dirty uniform out there at the studio. You're all dressed up tonight. How's it feel?
It feels quite different from what I'm accustomed to wearing, especially out in the field and then working back to back with you.
Jack Lance and his brother Bill, both very big, and they were very much a part of the Rybovich boatyard.
Captain Fred Voss on the LEV, Captain Bill Capel on the Golden Dolphin, West Palm Beach City Marinas, and numerous other captains, you know, that from time to time that I'd see on the docks, you know. Jim Zeke also grew up in the Manalapan around Boynton Inlet, the Boynton Inlet docks, and Kenny Lyman, the Lyman docks in Boynton. Fred Voss was very good, grew up with all of them. He was quite a character, always had a Budweiser going, and he was known to get in some squabbles on the dock, you know, in arguments. He'd fight his way out of an argument most of the time, and sometimes people would go overboard at the time. I've seen that happen. But anyway, he was the nicest guy, very good fisherman. His father, Fred Sr., ran boats for Rybovich.
Buddy Trito was a regular down there when he ran the cruise kids boat, the Tranquil, for Bev Smith. He was in on it.
Gary Stuve has always been a mentor. I mean, he's always done it a little better, a little harder, and smiled about it, and was on a great boat. And he was, I just wanted to be like Stuve.
Red Wagner, he had a Boynton guy that came up and tied his boat up with sailfish, and we used to cobia fish against each other. And he was a good guy. His son Wendy and his son Ray, and both those guys have worked for me.
And another guy we just lost, along with Stosh in the same week, was Larry Hastings, and he ran a Nitsa in and out of there for many years before he moved on to the yachting side of things. To this day, I credit him with teaching me and so many others about how to take care of a boat and keep it in Palm Beach condition. So many of those guys that were part of my childhood and certainly part of the sport fishing that West Palm Beach became famous for.
And in the wintertime, this is where everybody lands, Palm Beach. So this is where everybody congregated, plus the weather might have had something to do with it too. You know, you look at all these guys and who's good at what they do and who's beating us and why are they beating us, and their attitudes and how they handle everything, and you just kind of, if you're not paying attention to all that, you're not moving ahead.
I would be living on those docks after school and on holidays and on weekends. And then when I got out of high school, and I'd gotten to know Frank enough by then, and he kind of knew who I was, working with Jerry and people like that, so he hired me. And I found out real quick what his secret to success was. Yeah, I'm a young buck just out of high school. I want to party and fish every day, and you are the first guy down at that dock in the morning. So we were going earlier, further, staying longer, but that was really his secret to success, was working hard. He had that Brooklyn accent, use guys. You might have thought you were in Goodfellas or something like that. He sort of, a little gangster-esque. Use guys, use a joik. Uses the biggest joik I've ever known. That was him. When I first saw Robert Rass, he was running a Norseman with 3 motors, the Comanche, painted red hull.
These men supply the know-how for beginners. Their boats are fully equipped. All that any party needs when it steps aboard is enthusiasm and the muscle power necessary to handle the frantic fighting of the mighty billfish.
The first thing you have to remember, or the first prerequisite, is that this is show business. You are an entertainer, and you need to make the owner feel that every day is a good day on the water, whether you're catching fish or not. A lot of guys have a problem with that, but it's extremely important to make sure the customer and his family and his guests are having a great time. It's show business. It really is. You're an entertainer.
Deep sea fishing is available to anyone. You can charter a boat with an expert skipper. Bringing them in takes split-second teamwork between fishermen and crew.
From that, we get to maintenance on the boat. Can you take care of it? This is a problem that we're seeing today. We have what we refer to as the cell phone captains now, who don't know what a varnish brush is, don't know what a wrench is. Everything is taken care of on their phone, and the maintenance and the Palm Beach condition and what we've been known for in this area is slipping because of it. So you got to be an entertainer, you got to be a mechanic, you have to have a general knowledge of paint and bright work. You have to be a good fisherman. Let's face it, you have to know where the fish are, and you have to be able to coach and teach in the fishing end of things. If you can do all of those things well, you'll be at the top of the list. It's getting harder and harder to find those guys.
I think my first captain's job was, well, I was running a boat at 23, and I'm 73 now, so the Lord's been very gracious to allow me to do this passion and a love for fishing, which I've never gone to work in my life, because you do your passion for your job for however long it is.
It's not complicated, because really the common denominator in all of that is fun.
The suggestion of an angler's smile reveals satisfaction.
The best day of cobia fishing I ever had in my life, we caught 79 cobias. I mean, you go to jail for doing that now, but back, what's it, 1 per person or something like that now? But back then, you know, that's probably why there's a limit on them now.
Palm Beach County anglers are known to swap unbelievable tales. It's been said that a truly dedicated fisherman could hope to catch almost anything, including maybe even the great white whale.
Yeah, it was all different back then. When the boats pulled in, there was people there waiting to see what they threw out. And those people had money in their pocket, and they were wanting to go fishing. So if you threw out more fish than anybody else, you likely got booked.
Catching more than everybody mostly, that's a drive, being competitive, keeping an excellent boat, dealing with your people properly, treating everybody with respect.
The first time I could, I brought my dad's charter boat here to the Sailfish Marina. And here's this single engine boat with all these Merritts and Ryboviches, but we were catching fish, we were doing it, you know, we were here with the big boys. It was amazing then, it really is amazing now.
And in the wintertime, this is where everybody lands. I would say Palm Beach. You go out and have, 20 bites, 25 bites some days. Fishing was great, dolphin fishing, cobia fishing, king fishing, everything. So it's like okay, this is a good starting point. All right, where are we going to go from here? We're going to go south, east, north.
We're off the east coast of Florida with a host of other boats out for those jumping, battling sailfish and marlin.
I was 5 years old, and I was supposed to be in kindergarten when we got down here, except there was no kindergarten in Florida back then. You know, you had to be 6 to be in the first grade, so I had to go out with Dad every day when he went fishing. I sure hated that. and that was really my first time around it. Most of the time, we were either sail fishing or bottom fishing. And I mean, half the people that were using hand lines. And it was like a tarred wax kind of line, and they could wrap it around the railings, and I'm a little kid, and they were catching all kinds of stuff. You couldn't go just buy a 12-pack of frozen bait or anything. When you went to Marshall's Bait and bought bait, it was, fresh, not cut. I was shopping over there at Zidell's to buy khakis, because Jackie Morrow had khakis with flaps on the pockets and stuff like that. But that's how you dressed. You had the name of the boat on a collared shirt. Jackie knew all the guys that I was wanting to know. So I was kind of watching what he was doing. And like I said, he worked for Frank, I worked for Frank, and we were always trying to come up with something a little bit secret, and baits and stuff like that. But I'd watch him in the cockpit. He was fast and quick and really good.
You had your Miami, you had your Lauderdale, and you had this, but Palm Beach had Ryboviches. Palm Beach had innovation of everything. It all kind of started here. Your mates, your captains, the hub was here for so long, and in a way it still is. You had great mates coming out of North Carolina, but everybody came to Palm Beach.
We live in an area where it's really magnificent and wonderful for everybody, and we hope everybody will take the fishing habit.
By golly, it sounds just like the Chamber of Commerce. Thank you, Ken. Good job.
Thank you, Ward. It's nice to be here.